collective simulations linking some bases within the same branch of the military are already being done. But those are often based stateside, far from potential conflicts. Greater flexibility has now become possible with a new simulation training system just beginning delivery to the Army. Avcatt, the Aviation Combined Arms Tactical Trainer, is a 6-station simulator that can be reconfigured to mix scout, airlift, and attack helicopters in the same exercise. What used to take an entire building to house is now contained in 2 trailers.
What Avcatt allows the military to do is to take collective training and make it mobile, take it out into the field, put it down close to the front line where the pilots can learn to fly close to where they're going to fight.
The secret to Avcatt, the technology that makes this mobility possible, is the result of profound advances in helmet-mounted visual display systems, HMD for short.
Both the Army and industry knew that we could never have an Avcatt concept. We could never have an Avcatt success without a helmet. The visual system needed to fit in a trailerized environment, and without a helmet we could not have provided that kind of a comprehensive visual system.
You don't need that big space to have the outside visuals, the big wide displays around you. Now you've got all of that with the great fidelity presented to him in his eyes. He has the same field of view as he would in his aircraft. He's not tethered to fixed screens in front of him anymore. He has the field of view and a field of regard of his head movement. Where he looks, he sees the outside world. Where he sees an obstruction in his aircraft, he sees a bulkhead, a frame rail. It brings the whole environment around him just like he's in his real aircraft. So not only can he do it at home station, but it goes with him where he goes and allows him to do mission rehearsals for his entire task force. When he's forward deployed, rehearse it today, and then execute on order.
The actual instrument panel, though not visible on videotape, is visible to the pilot.
The HMD knows exactly where the pilot's head is in space. So when he looks down to see his instruments, you see it as a black filter in front of him. To the pilot, it's transparent. He sees through that black filter that you see, sees his own instruments, and that brings the reality to him.
This level of performance and image detail is possible only through recent advances in computer processing chips and video cards. The result is smaller size and greater simulation power, which is 75% less expensive than it was 20 years ago. Simulation visionaries see the day in the not-too-distant future when a true virtual battlefield will be possible.
We're on the brink of being able to integrate Navy like an F-18 simulator with the F-16, the F-15 from the Air Force, with Avcatt with all of their helicopters, with CCTT with their tank simulators, and we'll be able to execute a combined mission from various simulators all over the country without anybody having to fly the real plane or run the real tank.
But there are challenges in getting all simulators to train in what's called the fair fight.
The challenge in the fair fight is the difference in the databases amongst the different types of simulations and simulators that are out there. For example, the F-15 and the F-16, if I have a mountain in my database and it's not in the F-16's database, then there's a coordination problem when we're trying to fly and fight together.
While the quality of the visuals and the sophistication of the training scenarios continue to improve, simulator cockpits and the hardware around them are unlikely to see much more advancement.
We're pretty much at the point where hardware is just commercial off-the-shelf technology. We pretty much can use projectors that you would use in your conference rooms or in entertainment industry. The PCs are the things you buy at the PC shop, so we've pretty much closed the gap on hardware.
Yeah, I think the hardware is got about as far as it can go, and that's good. That means that it's doing everything it should do.
Defense industry simulation companies and armed forces officials freely admit that the computer gaming and entertainment industry is driving technology advances at a rapid pace. But those advances do not translate into realistic combat simulations.
You got to give a lot of credit to the computer gamers because they generate some pretty impressive images. But in the military simulation, we have to provide an awful lot of other things. We have to provide target recognition and identification at various ranges that look like the real thing to the real pilot. We have to provide animations that give the pilot cues of anti-aircraft firing, tracer bullets, rocket flyout, flames and smoke. We have to give them damage when they hit a tank and a tank explodes. We have to show them the damage of the tank. So there are an awful lot of features that need to be added, as well as just making the picture look pretty and real.